Okay, great. So we're recording. Yay! And today is Thursday, March the 7th. It was so funny. I got so excited yesterday to do the call, and I was thinking it was Thursday, but actually it was Wednesday. So I recently just heard not Dave Johnson. I love his calls, but I was just listening to Ben's call, the last call that he did, and I thought it was really interesting about identity and and I thought we could have a discussion a little bit about that topic. But this is the Nikken Women Creating Wealth call. We love this call because it is for the women. And one of the greatest things about network marketing in general and Nikken specific is it is a fabulous business for women. There is no glass ceiling. The sky is the limit. And I really do strongly feel that it's time. It's our time. It's women's time in the world in a way that it just hasn't been maybe ever, or at least not for a long, long, long time since it was matrilineal society and so forth that we had throughout the world. So this is our time for growth. This is our time for our voice. This is our time to really come forward. And women are very passion-driven, mission-driven, purpose-driven, and we do things differently. We do. I mean, they've been showing that with the micro banks and the lending and how differently women look at how they use their money versus men. And it is just fascinating. And it's not a better or worse ever. I absolutely love men. I love it that we have men in our business, but I also love the women. And I love to help the women get past their blocks and move forward to really create the impact that you are here to create and that I am here to create, and create the commensurate, abundance that comes from that. And my experience is that the more you're in outflow, the more that you share, the more that you just get out and help people, the more that you're passionate, you don't have to worry about the inflow, because the inflow of the financial reward happens naturally and automatically so long as you stay true to you and your authenticity and your vision of what you see combined with Nikken's vision. So, every home a wellness home. I think many of you we all follow each other on Facebook. I am putting a lot right now out there about 5G, about the lack of studies that have been done. The FCC, the FDA are completely blowing off the fact that this is dangerous, and they're doing it anyway, and this affects us. It affects our men, it affects the women, it affects our children. And, this is just one area that I get very, very angry about, but also very passionate about, because we have solutions to mitigate that. And everybody needs what we have. Our products are survival tools. Everybody needs them. It's not just people that are having a hurt back or, need to lose weight or think they do or whatever. It's for everyone. And I really hope you grasp that. And if you don't, have conversations with us individually to understand why that is so true, and study and understand what's happening in our society. Because women, when things really need to shift and change, it is women that will galvanize together, because we're very good at working together to make big things occur. And really, we are at a certain time, an apex of time of change. We must change because humanity's not doing well. Our planet is not doing well. And, everything, we're sick, we're sick and the planet's sick. And so we need to really take the bull by the horns, in a sense, and really get out there and really share from our heart and passion. So what I loved in what Ben was saying the other day was like, what is it that you love about the Nikken business? Why did you choose Nikken? And how, when somebody says to you, what do you do? How do you respond? Does it feel authentic, or is it some kind of canned response? I can't do a canned response. I've never been able to do the 1-minute commercial, because for me, it depends on who I'm in front of and all of that. And I'm very passionate about a lot of parts about Nikken. So my answer will vary. It actually will vary. It's never one specific answer, but that doesn't mean that's the right way. It's just my way. What is your way? And I hope so. I think some of you were on that call the other morning, and I'm hoping that if you weren't, that you listened to it and are really thinking about, how do you be authentic? I mean, is there ever a time somebody says, what do you do? And you say, I'm a network marketer. I was actually just on the phone just now with somebody that I've known for many years, and that I met him in a actually was in a grocery shop. It was in an organic grocery shop called Wild Oats. And he said, I said, what do you do? And he said, I'm a builder. And he said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a professional network marketer. And it felt great to say it because I felt really proud of saying it. I was excited to say it. And now, do I say that every time? No, not at all. No, sometimes I might, I'm in health and healing and I love to help the world thrive. And this is how I do it. So what is it for you? Have you thought about this since that call that Ben put out? Have you got something you would share now with us to contribute, your thoughts? Maggie, I don't know if you were on that call the other night, or morning rather. Were you there on that one, or did you hear that call yet?
I heard the recording.
Yeah.
And, I find it interesting, Julie. You and I have been in Nikken 24 years, and I still, and I appreciate what you said, because I hardly ever say the same thing. It really does depend for me on the context. And I've tried, sometimes I do say I'm a professional network marketer. I don't say that very often. It really depends on the setting. I often just, if we've got 15 seconds or 20 seconds, which we often do, I say I'm a global wellness consultant with a Japanese company that's changing the world. And, so there's different things that come out of my mouth depending on whom I'm speaking with.
Fabulous, right? Because you're tailoring it to the situation and the energy and the person. And yeah, exactly. I think that's a wonderful, way to do it. I suppose I wouldn't do it I wouldn't do it that way if I didn't think so. But I also understand some people like to have a very specific thing that they say. And so, like Sherry, what would you say? What's your way of doing it?
Well, I, like both of y'all have said, it changes up. I never, I use the cues of, who I'm talking to, and if I can ask them some questions first, that helps. But sometimes you don't have much information. But I'll say that I am a wellness consultant, and my work is about teaching people to take care of their health through self-care, and with a better way, or with energy medicine. I often will say, two of my strong focuses is helping people sleep better, or I may say I'm a sleep expert, and I'm a hydration specialist. And so, and I, may go into a second of just backing that up with, these are two of the most important things that we can focus on to have more vitality or to be healthier or something like that.
Great. I love that. That's fantastic.
I love that.
Way
a hydration specialist.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
Really.
Abby, how do you do it? How do you speak to people in a way that's authentic for you and natural?
This week, I plant seeds. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, I tell people about these energy healthy products, and eventually they want to know more, and next thing you know, they want to know more, and next thing you know, they're getting sleep systems, and then they're telling everybody. So yeah, so that's good. The reason why I say the seeds is because I've had a lot of recent excitement in my group now. So for so long I'm just talking about it and waiting for something to cultivate, and now it just seems like it's just blossoming a little bit right now for me. So that's why I say the seeds. Yeah.
It is, Abby. And it's beautiful to see it, and not to mention that it's your birthday, so it's a blossoming time anyway for you. Yeah. So happy birthday. We're excited it's your birthday. And, you've had some great success. And I know you've sown seeds in the past where you didn't have that fertile ground or that fertile seed that took off. And so, like all of us, right? So this is so exciting when people get it, right? There's nothing more exciting than when people really get what.
Right. But I really have always had faith that I know that eventually, some of these people are going to come back to me and say, hey, what about this? And, oh, do you have something with that? And so initially when I first started, it would hurt me. I would get so upset when someone didn't believe me. I want to explain myself, and I want them to believe. And now it's just, I hear the word no, and I'm like, okay, maybe, it's a seed. And I just keep thinking it's a seed. And so it doesn't hurt my heart so much. So.
I
Yeah.
love that. And Abby, I mean, you know, I love you so much. You're such a good-hearted woman. And I know that your whole mission is helping people. There's no question about it. And I do think that it's one of the things that as, you know, women that come into Nikken so full-hearted, it can be very challenging with the rejection part. And this is our big learning for a lot of us, is that, you know, it's not about, it's not, don't take it personally. It's not about you in that way. They're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to the opportunity at this time.
Right.
So, you know, but I think you're doing a beautiful job, and you've got some sprouting seeds. It's like super exciting.
Seeds now. So yeah, thank God. Yeah.
I love it. It's
Julie,
thrilling.
could I just share a really fun one I did once? Because sometimes I just think, oh, everybody's so serious, right? So I was at a Latin Vancouver, it's the Latino community in Vancouver breakfast last month. And I held up my water bottle and I said, "This is a gateway drug. If you want to know more, come and see me."
That is fantastic. And what was the response? What did they say?
I had more people come up and talk to me afterwards about that than any other time. It was just so funny. Yeah.
And it is addictive. I agree. I was talking to somebody today and said, you know, this is the only water I drink. And so I am addicted to it in a good way. And I take it everywhere I go. You know, that bottle goes everywhere I go. So, yeah, that's fantastic. I think that's great to have fun with it. And to be relaxed is super important, and not feel uptight and like you've got to get it right. And this is a key thing, is that, you know, honestly, it's so much about, are they open and willing to hear at this moment in time? And they may not be now, but they may be in a month, they may be in a year, and you never know. And it's almost not for you to say. So of course you want to be effective, but mostly what we do is we talk too much and we don't listen enough. And the truth is that human beings, especially in today's world where I'm sure you see this, people are more and more isolated. It's so paradoxical. We're more and more connected than ever because of, you know, social media and so forth, and we're more isolated than ever. And people aren't getting physically together enough with others, and that physicality of being together over a cup of tea or something is very, very, very powerful. And in that time, when you have that opportunity to be with somebody, the key thing that all human beings, pretty much, I really believe deep down, even if they never admitted it, is that they want to be seen, they want to be heard. They want to be seen, they want to be heard, they want to be validated. And when you really listen to them without any agenda of what you want to say or might say, I really think from a physics point of view that when we really listen to somebody and are validating them, even just energetically, even without saying that, we're validating them, we literally help them become real. We help them become more real, because if it's physics, it's energy and particles, waves and particles. And the more you focus in on something, as you know, the observer has an effect on the thing that is observed. So when you're really present with somebody else and observing them and listening, you actually help them become more real and more who they are. And that is a very, very healing thing in and of itself, because so many people aren't seen, are not heard, are not felt, don't think they're making a difference in the world, don't really know why they're here, wonder if they're making any kind of an impact, and are self-questioning and in self-doubt. And so I really think that's a huge part of what we do. And it's difficult because when you find Nikken, like Starlet, who's new, and I don't know, Starlet, how it is for you right now, but I know for most of us, when we first start, we just want to tell the world, and we want to just kind of throw it out there and just throw it on them. And then they're like, stop. And they run away. And we're like, wait, why did you run away? It's so cool. I have.
Right.
It's a tricky thing, right?
Any good
excited, but listen at the same time.
I think that's so true. Like with any type of great communication, is you need to kind of get on that person's wavelength. You know, if they're hyper, you get hyper with them. If they're a little quiet, you get quiet with them, and then you can bring them to you. You know, you can't just start off like as excited as you are, like, I got it. You know, you've got to be like, well, you know, and just kind of be on that same level with them. And you're so right.
That's so true, Abby. And you know, the best book I ever read about prospecting was the book by Monty Roberts on the Horse Whisperer. Not the novel, The Horse Whisperer, but the story of him training wild Mustangs and how he did it so that he could literally ride a wild Mustang that had never been ridden before within, you know, a few minutes even, or 20 minutes or whatever. And the way he did it is he calls it link up. And what he did was that he would literally follow every movement, every nuance, gauge everything the horse was doing and stay behind the horse and just gently follow and mimic, really. But you know, mimic is a funny word, right? So it's not making fun of and mimicking, but really copying very adroitly how that horse moved. And what would happen is that slowly the horse would gain trust, or he would gain trust with the horse. Then he could come up alongside the horse eventually, and then very imperceptibly, very gently, he would lead. And then he'd be leading the horse, and the horse would trust enough to be led. And what I want to say about this is that could sound like you know, and this is one of the reasons I never studied NLP actually, is because it could be used to manipulate. We don't want that at all. What we know, what we have is hugely valuable. And in order to be successful in network marketing, to have a big team, you have to become an influencer and a leader. But the way you become an influencer and an effective leader, and eventually have a huge team and have a wonderful income to go with it and everything else, is you've got to learn to really follow well, and then come alongside, and then gently lead and watch and see, are they now following with me? Are they now, in other words, are they listening now? Are they open now? And then even then you just give a little bit and then a little bit more. And the story, if you can read the book, if you find this book by Monty Roberts, I will tell you, it absolutely made me weep, because he tells stories of how he would know. It was so gentle, the process, right? This is a wild Mustang that's never been ridden ever, right? They'll kill you in a second. But he could ride them so quickly. And women in the audience would faint when they watched him do this. And you know why they would faint is because those women had been abused in their life. And the gentleness and the love that he showed that horse, and the respect that he showed that horse as he followed the horse, you know, before he came alongside and then took the lead very gently and imperceptibly, was so moving to them, because it was so loving and so respectful. And he himself had been abused as a boy, and he had also seen horses being abused. So this was very touching, you know, to me. And I'm sure, like many of you, the Me Too movement has been a huge movement. And you know, unfortunately, so many of us have had abuse, you know, in our family history or in our, you know, experience, you know, out there in the world. So how do we move beyond that? And it all has to do with this trust. And as a leader, again, a great leader is going to not only follow the person, but they're actually going to be following their own intuitive insight. They're actually going to be following the higher self, or the unseen, or the universe, or God, or whatever you might call that. And that's actually where we're really following that. We will create success because we'll be in the right place at the right time, because we're listening on a much deeper level, and we're following that dictate, or that guidance, shall we say. And then we're in that right place, and suddenly we bump into an old friend, and they're like, oh my gosh, my husband just broke his back and I don't know what to do, or whatever. Or, you know, somebody's ill, or I just lost my job and I'm scared. Because remember, as much as we talk about the technologies, which we love, this can create financial freedom for people. And that part needs to be in there too. And we need to be listening for that. Because a lot of people may never make a change with their health until, you know, push comes to shove. Some people, you know, as you know, we all are obstinate about certain things. Some people will never make a change there, but they will make a change if they can put money into the bank account to put food on the table for their children, right? Or, you know, be able to pay their rent next month. They will make a shift. And so to not let them know about the financial part is really negligent on our part. It is not just about our technologies. And it's not even just about the business and the technologies. It's about the business, the technologies, and the vision. And the vision and the mission is the most compelling thing of all, because once somebody grasps the vision and the mission of what we're up to, really in the world, really it's a sort of liberation program in a way, you know, helping people become truly liberated in their life, to understand they're really creative in their life. Once we get that, and they understand the humans being more principles and the 5 pillars of health and the well, you know, every home a wellness home, that understanding, when that resonates with somebody's mind and heart and soul, that is when they're really in Nikken. You know, it's like, we say it's not when you get into Nikken, it's when Nikken gets into you. Is that those are the people that they don't leave Nikken, because it's in you. Maggie McGee, you said 24 years. Myself, 24 years. You know, Sherry, I think, how many years, Sherry? 18 something?
21 now, 21.
Now, 21.
This is my 21st, yeah.
You know, that's brilliant. Dee Welsh, Dee, huh? I mean, you're on mute, but you can unmute. Like, how long? I mean, how many years?
10.
10. Okay, 10. That's still a long time. So when you're looking at building a team, right, you don't want people coming and going all the time. That's exhausting, and it's just a lot of work. And it's like, well, why? They're coming and then they're going. They're coming and going. The people that grasp this, that trifecta idea, oh my gosh, these technologies change lives and we all need it. Oh my gosh, this business means that I could actually empower people to make a fortune and be free financially and do what they really want to do in this world, whether it's build a nonprofit or whatever it is that their dream is, you know, travel the world, whatever. And, oh, by the way, there's this humans being more, 5 pillars, you know, wellness home concept. Oh, that's the heart and soul of this? Oh, wow, that's amazing and that's cool. Privately owned, wow, that's great. So it's not, you know, affected by the stock market. And they start to get it on all those levels. That's a journey. So some people will come in for the products. That's great. There's no right or wrong on the journey. Some people will come in because it's a great business and they want freedom and they want to get out of their trading time for money situation. Good for them. They really understand the power of trading time for money and the power of networking, which everybody's networking now. Everybody's got affiliate programs. Everybody's doing network marketing. They just may not call it the same, but yeah, everybody's doing it. And so like and share, you know, that's Facebook's message, right? And comment, like, share, comment, like, share. So it's normal now. So what we're doing isn't so strange anymore. But when people really grasp those 2 things and then that vision, they stay, because it speaks to them on such a deep level. They know that their life purpose, their life mission is totally aligned with Nikken's life mission. Does it mean they're exactly the same? No, not necessarily, or it could be. Yes, could be, maybe not. But it's aligned to the point where they're saying, this is a place that I can call home. These are the people I can call my people, my tribe. And this is, I want to bring this to the world. I want to get this message out to the world. And they're the ones who stay 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. 24 years is almost a quarter of a century, you know, and that is a big chunk of my life. And I would never put my you know, efforts and love and daily activities into anything that didn't really speak to me on a pretty huge level. So it should inspire you to see others who've been in Nikken for so long, to say to them, you know, and talk to them. Like Darlene, you've been in a shorter amount of time, you know, like call Maggie and say, Maggie, I want to hear your story, or look her up on a YouTube video and hear her story. Why has she been involved for 24 years? You know, what is it that has had her be sticking like that? Carol, you've been in for quite a long time now. I don't know how many years, but you don't just, yeah, there you are. How long have you been involved, Carol?
About 5.5.
5.5 years.
5.5.
Great, 5.5
Yeah.
years. That's wonderful. So you see, you can see that when the right person, when Abby's found that right person, she's sowing seeds, and then suddenly, boom, there's that right person, and then suddenly there was a second right person right after. You know, she doesn't have to convince them. Nor should we ever have to convince anyone. It truly is about alignment, and it's very exciting when it happens. And you want to have the privilege of being on a team of people that are going to stay together and make this thing happen together. And this is absolutely beautiful. It's the win-win game. No win-lose, all win-win, everybody helping everybody. And that's a gift. So when somebody starts as a prospect and then they become a consultant, if they do, it's a journey. It's all a journey. And your job is to be super attentive to them in the journey. Where are they at? What do they need? Give them just that next step. Don't give them a 10-course meal when maybe they just want, a glass of water right then. Yeah, or you don't give them a 10-course meal if they just want an appetizer, shrimp cocktail. That's it. So, so we have to be really, really listening. And I think, honestly, listening is probably the most important thing. And then speaking to what they are desiring. So who else wants to share? So I know our time goes so fast. It's ridiculous. It's only half an hour. I think we should go longer, but still. Darlene, what's your experience? Yeah, who's that?
Oh, it was just Carol. I was just going to say that my first Humans Being More, and I did my board, and one of the things on my board is listening people into their full potential, which is, I put that on there because I think that is so powerful, which is what you were just talking about, to really listen. And that book is Monty Roberts' Horse Whisperer. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Monty Roberts. Yeah, the Horse Whisperer. And that's.
I'm gonna get that.
I think you just go online and have a look for it. I'm sure you can find it. And it's just a small book. It's very, very moving. It's a beautiful, and it is the best book I've ever read on prospecting because it talks about this link up, what he calls link up. Link up has to happen. Link up does not happen on the conscious level. It does not. It happens on much, much deeper levels. And so we have to understand that, and that trust, people look at you and they're watching, your body language and how do they feel in your presence and all of that. I really think we can hear each other's thoughts. So I think, they're listening to your thoughts. And if you're just trying to get it right or what can I do to make sure this person gets it? It's not going to fly. We're not looking for that. We're looking for lifetime partners. That really, really get what we're up to and are self-motivated to get up and make it happen, but with your support and help, right? Because we're all self-motivated. Any entrepreneur is going to build a business must be motivated to do this every day, to get out and talk to new people every day. And I just talked to a couple of people just right before I came back home. Not to mention the guy I was just talking to on the phone before, but I'm always just planting those seeds because it's fun and I want to see who kind of gets it. And when they get it, it's just thrilling, right? But it is a journey, and think of your own journey. Some people get it very quickly. Other people, it takes them time to grasp really what we're up to, that this is about humans being more serious. We're not just being trite about that. We really mean that. This is about growth and helping each other grow. It's a very, very potent thing. And so looking at that development and looking at how you can be authentic in your identity, as a Nikken consultant, what is it that you love the most, that you love to put forward to others? Many of you are very, very committed to alternative health and healing. And of course, I love that. It's been such a huge part of my life too. I think I'm as equally excited about the financial piece and helping liberate people in that way, because people struggle a lot, and I want to help them be liberated and live and really get out of the time crunch as much as possible, because that's one thing. We don't know how much time we have on the planet, and if you're here to make a difference and impact, you want to use your time very well and be smart about leveraging time. So that's a very passionate piece. And the fact that women have no glass ceiling, that is so huge. That is still to this day in the normal workplace, women have glass ceilings, but in Nikken you don't. And so get comfortable with talking about the financial piece. Don't be shy about it. And if you do feel uncertain or lacking in confidence around talking about money, read some of the books on network marketing and making money. Read some of the books on money itself. Money is Love is a lovely little book. There's a lot of books out there on money and what money is. Money is energy. Money is an energy, and it's a tool. It's a tool to allow people to live their mission more completely on the planet. It is not a dirty word. There's nothing dirty about it. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool that we all need. And so practice enjoying talking about that part of it, the abundance part of it, especially with women. Women deserve that and they need to hear it. You know how many of you have been mothers and you never were paid a penny for all those years when you were a full-time mom, you know, when your children were little, and people, I mean, I can still remember having my second child, who was born 19 months after my first child, and I was to the first party I went to, first thing, I think my son was just 3 weeks old, and I'd had a cesarean, so I was just coming out of it, and I went to this party, and the woman looked at me and my new baby and this other, my little girl, you know, Shanoa, and who was just 19 months old, and she says, and what else are you doing? What's your work? What else? What do you do?
Oh my God.
And I was flabbergasted, and that is a great English word if you don't know it. I was so shocked that I just stood there. I just stared at her. I mean, I just with my mouth open, I'm sure. You know, I couldn't believe I just had a cesarean. I'm nursing my baby. I got this little
My goodness.
toddler. So, you know how many mothers feel totally unseen in that realm, right? You know how that is. And you never get paid a penny for it, right? There's no recompense. So I feel like to help women make a fortune in Nikken is just absolutely exciting. It's thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely thrilling because it allows them to make the choices that they want to make, need to make in their own life for what's right for them. They get to have their autonomy back. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So, of course, we're all very mission-driven, you know, with humans being more in the 5 pillars of health. I don't believe that balance of 5 pillars is always just perfectly balanced. I don't think there is such a thing. I think it always tips this way. And that 1 minute you're working on your health, the next minute you're working on your kids, and family. Next minute you're working on your financial pillar. Next minute you're working on your society part, making a bigger difference. You know, it's always going like this. There is no perfect balance. Would be a cessation. It would be the end of life, because life is movement and motion, and it is tilting into. So I love the model, but I don't think the idea is I want it all in perfect balance. You do want health in all the areas, but you will always find that this year you're working on this, and that year you're working on that, or today I'm working on this, and tomorrow I'm working on that. It will never be homeostasis. We don't want that kind of, it's a nullifying effect. We want life through those 5 pillars. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Very.
It's often misunderstood. It's often a little bit misconstrued. Like, oh, we just want this sort of perfect life, but life isn't like that, right? It just isn't. Something's going on. Something's going down, right? So enjoy that process and, you know, really have fun with it. So, right now, you know, my job is to be with my little children, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel good about it, even if I don't get paid or whatever. Or now's my time to take care of my health because I just turned 75 and I think I might need to take a look at that or whatever, you know? So like it's going to shift, but the financial part is very important for the women. And I think women pull away from it because they're uncomfortable about it. Don't be uncomfortable about it. And if you are uncomfortable about it, do your inner work around it. Heal any wounds you have about making money in general and in Nikken specific, and really decide that you're worth it, because it's just that. You are worth it. You are worth making a fortune, because you'll only make a fortune by helping many, many, many people with Nikken. So feel good about that and heal anything needs to be healed. If it's in your unconscious, go and figure it out. Find somebody to help you. I do a lot of Psych K work, and there's a lot on there on prosperity. But you go find somebody to do some EMDR work with you around money or whatever you've got to hold up with it, because otherwise you won't communicate it to others. And if you don't communicate it, you're not giving them Nikken's full picture. It's the mission, it's the products, and it's the financial power. And so that's, you know, I think that's,
Wow.
yeah.
Very
That's
good.
where it's really at. Anybody want to say anything before we go? I know we've gone a little bit over time, but I don't really care. It's our call. We can do what we want.
Well, all I can say is it's Yoko. The way you present things, Julie, is not only positive and energizing, but it does put things in I call it a perspective of a nurturing perspective, which I'm very, very grateful for. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so, so very, very welcome. Yeah. Well, I think it's always been, even with my mom, who was always ill, I was always her caretaker. So I think I just come by that honestly from when I was a kid.
Well, I think all women are caretakers, and we're natural caretakers, but you are able to convey that in a very, very special way. So you have to keep on speaking that way, really, Julie, because a lot of us, like myself, are a little bit too more rational or logical. And, it's this whole teaming of all these wonderful, I call it special spirits with special gifts. That's what I think is so great about, Women Creating Wealth at Nikken and, any of our launch partners in our groups. It's wonderful.
That's wonderful. Thanks for saying that, Yoko. And that, really, we can do these calls more often if you want. I mean, it's really up to you. If you bring people and we grow it, I really have a vision of seeing very clearly 100 people on these calls, and just discussing things and having different people, talk about how they experience, making money, lots of it, not enough of it, or how they experience helping people with the technologies and what it's like to live a mission-driven life, mission-oriented life. We're very blessed that I just think we're super blessed to have Nikken. I really do.
Yeah, you're right. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie?
Yep.
I have a question though regarding the business part of it. Like I agree with what Maggie, was saying about the seeds and so forth, and I get that as far as with the product and so forth. I've been using Nikken products since 2015, but signed up last year as a consultant. But so I understand, like, I don't get upset anymore if people don't, because some people are seeds, some people are little, plants that you go and buy. So everybody's at different stages in their life, and that's fine. Some people are just now waiting.
Oh, we lost you. Darlene, I think we lost you for a minute. Darlene, we're losing you.
Oh, part of it. Can you hear me? Yep.
We lost you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Now can you hear me? Okay. But my question is this: as far as a business, I think that's kind of one of my fears is when I get business partners, because I'm still learning about business and helping to, like you said, meet people where they're at and help them. You don't want to do too much for them. So how do you I know that you guys would be more than willing to come along, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know how to help. I don't know how to help someone. Like, in other words, I don't want them to recreate what I'm doing right now because I really don't know what I'm doing. Does that make sense, what I'm asking?
Yes, my love, but just to know that, a lot of people have been hugely successful without having a clue what they really were doing. It's not like you have to know everything. In fact, that's one of the most misunderstood things in Nikken is that people, we've always said, that the whole thing about knowledge can really freeze you up and have you be ineffective, whereas passion and not knowing and just getting out there is actually much more powerful and effective and remunerative. So sometimes the more we know, the worse it gets. Because we think, I must know. And that is a lie. All you need is a heart full of love that wants to go help others. The rest, you put people on the phone. You say, I don't know about the business. I just started getting checks in the mail. I don't know. But you know what? I'll put you on the phone with Sherry and Sherry will answer you. Or, that's a great way to do it. You don't have to be an expert. None of us have to be an expert. That's a key thing. In fact, the whole thing, we don't want to be experts because the moment you say you're an expert, you automatically tell that person subconsciously, I'm an expert and you're not. And then they think, I can't do what you do. And that immediately stops the whole thing happening. Can you see? What we do is so easy. It's as easy as Facebook. You see a photograph, I put one on the other day of a white giraffe. It was the most amazing thing. And I thought, that's so cool. And I put a comment and I liked it and then I shared it. It's that easy. Okay. You've got these amazing technologies and an incredible business. And, do you need to understand the ins and outs of the compensation plan to the nth degree? No. Right. And anyway, once you do, it changes. So what, So it's like, don't get hung up here. This is where people get hung up. It's not about this. Right. It's about just seeing somebody who's in need, where you've asked questions and there's a need. Maybe they're scared to death. They've just lost their job and they don't know how to make it. What's next? Or somebody's really ill in their family. They have a child that's just super ill and they don't know what to do for that job. And all you're doing is saying, I think I might have something that could help you. Would you be open to taking a look? You don't have to know all the answers. It will freeze you up.
I go out of my way sometimes to say, when they say, how does it work? I'm like, honestly, I have no idea. I said, but it's like the light. I don't know how they work. I just know I hit the switch and the lights go on and I need light. Well, I don't know why this necklace is stopping my neck from having like a hot knife in the back, but I know when I put it on, it's not there. I don't know how. I said, but I know there's scientists that understand it. There's papers that are out there and you can read it. I don't get it when I read it. Maybe you will. But I just am excited that I feel better. And I know that so many people that I've introduced these products to feel better. And I feel really blessed.
Right.
Abby,
and mine's really just
perfect. That is so the thing you've said is that, ignorance on fire is worth far more than knowledge on ice. The more knowledge you get, the more iced up you get. Maybe I won't say it right. Maybe I won't do it right. And then you don't talk to anybody and then it all stops. So ignorance on fire, I don't mean ignorance like you're ignorant. None of us are ignorant. We're all brilliant in our own way. We all have access to brilliance, which is super cool from the universe. But it's the fact that, when you're just passionate and on fire, you will be effective because you will transmit that joy to others. When you're all in your head because you got to know everything, it's ice. So if you think of it financially, ignorance on fire is worth a fortune. Knowledge on ice is worth nothing. Do you see? It's like really important to get that. So you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know everything about the business and how it works. I mean, obviously study a little bit network marketing and just leveraging time compounding effort. So you just have a grasp of that, what that looks like, penny doubling in a month, that simple equation. You don't even have to remember the amounts of money. You just have to remember the difference between a penny doubling or, So it's not complicated. Our business is so easy. We make it complicated.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yes.
I did want to say, too, I do have this book. I'm not through it yet, but it is really helping. I'll see if you can see it. But it's by Alan Peasy, and it's Questions Are the Answers.
Beautiful. Love it.
And it really does. It makes sense. It's like, as far as presenting a business, the networking business, how, again, listening and what to listen to the questions that they have and so forth. And then you can answer them. So that I would suggest that to anybody like in my situation. I haven't finished it, but it really is. It makes sense.
I've heard about it. It sounds great. I'm looking at our time, but thank you for that. I think we should probably finish. Is there any last thing anybody wants to say before we go? Because we love each other and we want to always be together. Yay! I mean that. A yay. It's a real yay.
Thank you for inviting me.
I just want to say.
Great.
Just one thing. When you were explaining about the women fainting when they were, I don't know, hearing about the horse whisper, just the whole way, the whole way that you did that was so beautiful and very touching, and I think really communicated a beautiful way of doing life and business. Mhm.
Well, it was his story that touched me so deeply. So I really recommend it as the best. And I always have since ever I read it, which was probably 20 years ago. This is the best book I've ever read on how to build a network marketing business. Create Link Up.
Great.
Create Link Up. Love
And
it.
it's horse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's link up?
No, the link up is what he calls it when he links up with the horse.
Yeah.
And then the horse
Yeah,
allows
it's beautiful.
a bareback,
That's so beautiful.
and doesn't throw him off. I mean, it is so touching. You'll love it. So, all right,
Thank
my
you.
friends,
Thank you.
let me know. Be active on the Facebook page. Please post on there. You can, please do, and on the WhatsApp. I do like the WhatsApp I do like those things to be utilized, not for happy birthdays and things like that, because we have Facebook for that. We have other places for that. So use it for anything to do with the women and wealth, women in Nikken, women in the technologies. Please use the page, the group on Facebook. Please use the WhatsApp. If you want a call every, twice a month instead of once a month, let me know. If you want this call to be an hour instead of half an hour, let me know, or 45 minutes. What do you need? Because I'm here to help you, and I want to serve your needs. So you let me know your needs, and then I'll do my best to serve. And does it mean I always can do that? No, not necessarily, but I'm going to give it a good try. So let's do that. Yeah, I love you guys. And I want to see everybody succeed on this call and way beyond. So, and let's bring new people to the calls too. New people helps them to see that we're not going to bite, and we're a friendly group and we love each other. So,
well, we'll just be able to show this recording, and that should bring in lots of people, Julie.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That too. But isn't it fun when we're all together like this? I love it. I totally love it. So
very much.
All right, my friends.
Thank you.
We'll be going. So I will stop our recording. Many blessings. See you on the Nikken Highway. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye-bye.